EmSeeSquared.
And this is the Otaku Jock.
We had planned to do our first episode as a real big blowout, a real feature-length thing that's still in production, but we wanted to address something while we still can regarding the release of the Star Wars Blu-ray release.
And that's all 6 Star Wars movies.
All 6 Star Wars movies, as many know, are coming out on Blu-ray for the first time this Friday. It is now Wednesday.
September 16th.
September 16th, right. And we've been following this very closely, and we want to address a lot of the reception this is getting because, you know, out of curiosity, we checked the Amazon review, and the Amazon review for this product that isn't even out yet is down at 2 stars.
And that, I think, any self-respecting Star Wars fan should honestly take as an insult, especially since a lot of these negative reviews are coming from the quote-unquote fanboys that say that they love this product, but at the same time, they want to stop at nothing to completely bash this new release at every possible turn. I had to talk down at least 3 people on Facebook, one of them an old classmate of mine, one I would say a fairly prominent voice actor from Funimation, and...
Don't name names.
Okay. And another is a writer who lives in my home city. Now, we have been very surprised at just the negativity, and I think that what we find the negativity is towards is, of course, the quote-unquote changed scenes that are in this new release.
Yes, the change, in particular one changed scene, because, you know, George Lucas, as we know, he always likes to go back to these films and make little tweaks, which as an artist, I respect. If you go to my DeviantArt page, we'll try to provide a link. I have, as an example, a collage, an anime collage of Rumiko Takahashi characters. Rumiko Takahashi is the manga artist responsible for Inuyasha, Ranma One Half, and who knows what else. And it's a collage of like all these characters. And she has a series out right now called Rinne. And when I first released this collage, the Rinne characters weren't in there. Once Rinne started being released, I added some Rinne characters. Because as an artist, I can look back at a previous work and say, you know, I can add a bit more to this. I can make it better. So I respect George Lucas's decision to go back and revise his own work. We're not talking about colorizing someone else's film. We're not talking about someone dusting off the Mona Lisa and painting a big Joker grin on her face, okay? We're talking, you know, someone's own work. And to be fair, some of his changes are dumb, in particular regards to the change in question, which has everyone in such a hissy fit over, which is, of course, the Darth Vader's no in Return of the Jedi, which, admittedly, it's a dumb addition. It has no point there, it has no relevance, it's completely unnecessary. But it's 2 seconds.
Yes.
It's 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Of a feature-length film that is part of a 6-film series.
Now, seriously, when I saw people just getting in a pretty big rage about this, I was thinking, okay, what did they do? Did they copy and paste the note from Revenge of the Sith in there? So I actually saw the clip, and I watched it for myself, and immediately my jaw hit the floor just saying, this is what everyone is complaining about? This? Seriously? Have we gone so far as fanboys of this project that we're now just willing to just bash on anything? Like he said, yeah, maybe not exactly the smartest addition to this, but seriously, you're gonna refuse? You're gonna bring down an entire trilogy of movies, 2 trilogies of movies.
A saga.
A saga is a better way of putting it. You're going to do that for just basically 2 seconds, as well as some CGI blinks and a CGI Yoda replacing a puppet?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the Yoda, you know, when the original Episode 1 Yoda, when Episode 1 first came out, we saw the puppet Yoda, and it was like, oh, cool, younger Yoda, that's cool. But after episodes 2 and 3 came out, you look at that puppet, and it looks like a completely different character.
It does.
It doesn't look like Yoda anymore. So I can respect that change.
Yeah, especially when you consider how big a part he plays in episodes 2 and 3. I understand the decision to wanting to go back to episode 1, make him look uniform, because as you said, this is a younger character at the time, and he still has a lot of the ability, as we saw in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Exactly. Now, if he had gone back and replaced the puppet from Empire Strikes Back, then you might have a case, because that was a classic puppet. That was a technological marvel, cinematic marvel. Another of the criticisms we've been seeing is the Ewoks blinking, which honestly I'm surprised some people are complaining about, because I've always seen Ewok naysayers. I like the Ewoks. I understand why they're there, and I've seen some Ewok naysayers act like scared of Ewok because of their huge staring eyes. And now that they're blinking, all of a sudden people are complaining about it. So it's a bit hypocritical, because there's a person named Abby Wan who took the original film, and he's been releasing his own cuts of the film known as Star Wars Revisited. It's a beautiful work. He's added all sorts of color restorations and his own visual effects that really improve on the film. And in the cantina scene, he actually had some of the alien masks blinking to add some realism to them.
Now, here's an aside for this. Where's the criticism towards him on this?
Exactly. That's my exact point. Everybody loves Adiwan's work. It's really because it's stunning. But if George Lucas does it, suddenly it's a tragedy.
Yeah, and this is really the kind of irony, because when George Lucas spoke out against colorization and alterations to films in the late 80s, which has been another article that has been floating around the internet a lot more recently, he was going against exactly that. People that weren't associated with the original picture in the first place going back and making these changes. Like Ted Turner colorizing all the classic MGM movies.
That's a very good point. And in regards to the whole preservation of the theatrical versions, I can respect that the original versions should be preserved. I do think you should keep re-releasing them. But the fact that they're not included on this particular Blu-ray set, everyone is getting very uptight about it, because in just 2006, he did re-release them on DVD. This is the DVD version that includes the theatrical version. There it is right there. Now, granted, it is a transfer from Laserdisc. It is in 4:3 letterbox format. But up till recently, I only had a tube TV. I didn't really care about the screen size. It was it just looked the same to me. I have a widescreen TV now. Yes, it's in 4:3 size. But have we really grown that lazy to just utterly ignore the stretch button on our remotes?
Now, and another thing as well, we should address the final scene that has been floating around from the changes of this. The cantina scene, the infamous, Greedo shoots first scene. Now, we've seen the altered version of this. Honestly, when I first saw it, it actually makes a lot more sense the way that it's put there, because then you see Han dodge the shot and then fire a return shot at it. That makes a lot more sense.
Well, that's what it was back in '97. But what it is now is that in 2004, when he did it for the DVD, he made it almost simultaneous, almost like they were shooting at the same time. Greedo still shoots first, but it's almost simultaneous. This time, it's still like that, but it happens so much faster that it's blink and you'll miss it. It doesn't matter.
And let's just say, I think a grand total of all these scenes probably take up, I want to say, probably less than 5% of the entire movie. Like, I mean, especially when you're talking about the amount of time Yoda's in, that Yoda is in CG in The Phantom Menace, the no scene in Return of the Jedi, the
blinking
Ewoks,
the Great Dragon Roar. door.
The Great Dragonborn, and then the new scene.
The Jabba the Hutt door.
Seriously, this is getting ridiculous, and I think that we want to get to the meat of this. We're embarrassed by the fans.
Very embarrassed.
We are so embarrassed to consider ourselves Star Wars fans because of the reaction of the so-called